I'm diving straight in. I'm trying to dive straight in, but of course, I'm going to be slowed down by, you know, powers that be. So it's a movie review. It's the third movie of the trilogy, Matrix, and it's Revolutions by Jack Smith. And here's a note. Words in the brackets are those of Robert Kelly, the American's Bulletin. And if it's on my mind at the time that I see the brackets, I would skip over them. Okay. So if I end up reading them, then just take it. So the movie series on The Matrix is a backward history of the United States and a history of true Israel, not the de facto democracy in the Middle East. Okay. So Matrix Revolution ends with the proposed Constitution of the United States of America in 1787. Did you know that? Yeah, we're going to be going back and watching these matrices with the new pair of lens. So Matrix, the first movie, begins in present times. The story is a cycle of history repeated over and over again by a people who do not get it right. All communication is based upon symbolism. Every war is won by communication. If you're not enjoying the war, you're not understanding or getting the code, and you're not receiving the true message sent in everyday communications by code. There's a war going on out there. There's always been a war going on out there. The object of war is to restore honor to commercial dealings between foreign entities so there can be a lasting peace. But where there is no honor, there can be no peace. The Matrix. In the movie The Matrix 1, Neo learned that there was a secret war going on between the machine world of the Matrix and a number of people who called themselves Zion, who believed themselves to be separate and apart from the machine world of the Matrix. The Matrix was a system that warehoused living beings in a coma like state. It harvested their thermal, chemical, and biological energy to supply power to run the machine world. So the living beings in the Matrix were fed neurological impulses to their brains that gave these beings the simulation of a normal life of a living man. By these computer generated memories, these living beings perceived themselves to exist in a life involving family, neighborhoods, nations, work environments, and personal relationships. At no time did the living beings in the coma like state have a clue that they were not leading a real life of choice. The people of Zion, however, believed that they had been disconnected from the Matrix. They dwelled in a city called Zion, buried deep in the core of the earth to protect the inhabitants from the attacks of the machine world of the Matrix. Yeah, these people of Zion believed that they were free of the control of the Matrix while understanding that they were at war with the machines from the world, from that world. Okay? So there were a few people of Zion that sprung Neo from the control of the Matrix in the first movie. They believed that Neo might be a living being who would have extraordinary powers to bring freedom and peace to the people of Zion and to those souls in the Matrix still trapped by the machines. In the second movie, The Matrix Reloaded, Neo learns that the fate of the people of Zion is not independent of the persons in the Matrix or the machine world that controls the Matrix. To the contrary, Neo learns that the controllers of the Matrix have dealt with previous rebellions by people who had separated themselves from the Matrix, like the people of Zion, and had attempted to defeat the Matrix. So the current attempt by Neo and the people of Zion to defeat the machines from the Matrix is chronicled as the sixth rebellion against the Matrix. All previous rebellions have resulted in defeat and annihilation of the people outside the Matrix by the machines from the Matrix. So after defeat, the Matrix restarts the outside world or the so called enemies of the Matrix. The people of Zion are controlled by the controllers of the Matrix and allowed only so much latitude at freedom before they're reined in. So at the end of the second movie, the machines of the Matrix are starting an attack on the people of Zion by burrowing with tunneling machine into the core of the earth to reach the city of Zion with the intent of destroying the people of Zion. So the people of Zion are attempting to prepare defenses against the impending machine attack. Into this plot of warfare between the people of Zion and the machines of the Matrix is tossed a man named Neo. Some believe that Neo is a special soul that might possess the capacity to resolve the conflict between the machine world and mankind by bringing peace. Those who held this belief were a select minority and included Morpheus from the people of Zion and an imported computer program named the Oracle from the machine world of the Matrix. So in Matrix Reloaded, two important entities from the Matrix, the Architect and the Oracle, had informed Neo that the people of Zion and the Matrix were a symbiotic society where one entity could not exist without the other at the present time. So their futures were indelibly intertwined with each other. They would either go into the future together or there would be no future. Symbolism in communication. All Hollywood movies are parables. All of them. They describe the current reality in this world encoded in terms of mythical persons, places, events, and things. In scripture, the Messiah also taught about his kingdom, the world, in contradistinction to this world in terms of parable. So once the Messiah was asked why he taught in parables, his response was so that the common man would not know what he was teaching. Only the elect will understand. Hollywood movies are parables which teach the truth and reality in such a way that the common man will not understand the lessons and the information that is being given. So by understanding the scripture or the Hollywood movies, you will understand what is going on in the law of this world and will begin to understand your remedy to get free of a slavery and tyranny that you have entrapped yourself into. But in the scripture, the Messiah went on to say that the elect will understand the meaning of the parables because for them, they will understand the code and will understand the meaning of the communication and lesson being taught. I humbly beseech you, brethren, those of you who have eyes to see, ears to hear, and are members of the elect, to listen up. The story of the parable in the three Matrix movies is a plan of salvation and redemption from the ravages of the Matrix wars, or how to resolve your personal problems in this world. In every parable, it is first reasonable to understand who the characters represent. It is also necessary to understand how the characters' actions have created a cause slash effect relationship to the events of the story. So as to relationships, the Matrix is this world or an artificial world in contradistinction to the world which is real and a creation of nature and nature's God. The artificial world is de facto or colorable, while the real world is de jure or black and white. So the matrix is the system of Babylonian government, commerce, politics, and military that operates in the background and superimposes itself over the living people to control the energy given off by the living people, presumably for the personal benefit of the powers behind the Babylonian government. The system operates off the commercial energy of the living people who are harnessed by way of alter ego corporations called straw men. Straw men. These straw men are created by the Babylonian government upon the birth of each living soul and named after the living soul. So the only distinction is that the living soul's name is spelled according to the proper English rules in upper or lowercase letters. The Strawman Corporation's names are spelled in all capital letters, like other artificial and dead things. All commercial enterprise by living souls are performed through their corporate entities or strawmen as front men. Since the government has the highest legal title to these straw men, all commercial activity is presumed to be controlled by Babylon and hence taxed to Babylon. It is by this mechanism that the Babylonian system draws out the commercial energy of every living soul. Therefore, the people tied up in the matrix are representative of the straw men who politically are known as 14th Amendment persons or fictions created by government to replace living souls in the government political body. In a proper world, or the world, mankind or living people are in control. This fundamental law is based upon the laws of nature or the law of the land. In this world, the foundational basis for who is in control is the law of the sea or admiralty. It is a system constructed of trusts instead of principles who are acting in their own self-interest. A nation in the world whose laws are based upon the law of the land can be ruled as a republic. A nation in this world whose laws are based on the law of the sea is usually ruled as a democracy or demonocracy. So the story in the Matrix trilogy deals with a system which progresses from a democracy to a republic. This is a mirror image to the history of the United States, which has progressed from a republic in 1787 to a democracy in 2003 when this movie came out. A democracy is also a nation which is led by the military under emergency rules, behind a front of civilian rule, to confuse the populace as to the true nature of what is happening. In a democracy, the rights and needs of the individual must be subjugated to the needs and wants of the whole. There is no individual liberty per se. The military, political, commercial system is operated under the Admiralty slash maritime rules of contribution and the presumption of joint tort feasors. In the Matrix trilogy, the lives of the people are not paramount. They have been warehoused in facilities where liberty, freedom, and independent action are non existent for the average inhabitant who does not even understand that his life is an illusion, that he is programmed to feed the war machine. At the same time, the average inhabitant is mentally deluded into believing his whole life is one of a normal, free, and independent inhabitant of a modern society exercising free will. This is done by instilling mental unawareness into the being or controlled rebellion into others. In modern society, it is done chemically by drugs or alcohol, and it is done commercially by withdrawing the desire or means of successful fulfillment. Or it is done politically by providing controlled candidates which offer no change in the makeup of the system. Or it is done psychologically by instilling cognitive dissonance into the population. In short, the tools of modern society are used to enslave living souls as opposed to providing life and providing it more abundantly. Occasionally, one inhabitant of the matrix breaks free of its programming and sees a larger picture. These people are the ones who, like me, take the red pill and are presumably physically independent of the social programming of the matrix. These people have collected together in a society called the people of Zion. Today, in the present world, we might call these people patriots, but don't call me that. So, symbolism in the matrix. It is not a coincidence that Zion is the name of a mountain in the Old Testament of Scripture representing the children of Israel. The children of Israel gathered to become a nation and received their law from the Creator when the children of Israel were led out of slavery in Egypt. So, the matrix is a metaphor for Egyptian slavery. The people of Zion in the movie were a metaphor for ex-slaves led to their freedom by the Creator to create and start a republic nation of their own. A republic is a form of government based upon liberty and freedom, which requires knowledge and wisdom of the inhabitants to self-rule under concepts of honor and responsibility. This is in direct opposition to rule by the dictates of a commercial slash military slash industrial complex based upon policies and policy regulations which assume inhabitants are incapable of treating one another with honor and respect without supervision and discipline. It is also not a coincidence that the symbols used in the Matrix parable are mirror images or backwards to reality in meaning and time. The people of Zion, who are supposed to be alive and free, are buried deep into the ground in the city of Zion as though they were dead corpses. The dead people living in the Matrix in a condition of a coma are warehoused on the surface of the planet as though they were alive and mobile. The surface of the planet is smoky, dreary. The sun never shines, but appears dead. The city of Zion is alive with activity, but lit by artificial light. The people in the matrix are programmed to be happy and without a care in the world, but they have no independent thought or ability to affect change on their commercial or political system. The people of Zion are always apprehensive about the war and struggling to survive. They have the capacity to affect change and also must exercise discretion and elect responsibility. So, in today's world, the people of the matrix are 99.99% of the people who live with their heads in the sand and have no clues as to what is going on. They are programmed by the quote, talking heads, end quote, the boob tube, and other public sources of information. They can carry on an allegedly articulate conversation about persons, places, and events while never knowing or explaining any cause effect relationships that exist in the world or this world. In the words of the Merovingian from Matrix Reloaded, they do not understand the why. Therefore, they are slaves. The people of Zion in today's world are, for the most part, the patriots, rebels, and yes, in some cases, terrorists. Or at least they may shortly be prosecuted politically for being terrorists. These people are outside the matrix, so to speak, even though the matrix still exercises control over them. Okay? These patriots are mostly at war with the matrix and falsely believe that their involvement in this war will bring about change that will correct the problems with the matrix and the matrix's responsibility relationship to them. So about 99.99% of people of Zion live to destroy the matrix and what it symbolizes. It appears as though the matrix is out to destroy the people of Zion. There's a constant warfare. Those who do not notice that a democracy is in fact a controlled war zone of combatants are all the more deceived by this world. Looks can be deceiving to those who do not see or do not hear. Okay. We learned in Matrix Reloaded that the Matrix is not out to completely destroy the people of Zion. In fact, the Matrix is charged with restarting the people of Zion every time Zion is destroyed. So think of the program. Think of the program as a social urban renewal program where an old, socially archaic people of Zion must be upgraded to a new, more commercially competitive people of Zion. After all, the Matrix sees the people of Zion as a manufactured enemy to the Matrix, used to instill commercial competition into the Matrix to maximize the commercial benefits to the Matrix. So every now and then, the Matrix exterminates the old society of independents who think they are free and restarts the new urban renewal society with better stock and blood to give the appearance of a better enemy, which instills more competition into the Matrix world. This world is just like the Matrix model. It is just like the United States of America, which cannot continue as a democracy without having some permanent enemy at which the democracy is always at war. The Matrix is a symbiotic society. The Matrix cannot survive without an alter ego in the people of Zion. Likewise, the people of Zion have never had the ability to destroy the Matrix. Never. Scripture states the same theme, that the people of Zion and the Matrix are joined together in a short-term common future. Scripture says that for a time, the wheat and the tares must grow together in the field and not be separated. To pull up the tares will cause death to many wheat people. So they should exist together. The only two reasons the Matrix has to destroy the people of Zion is to prevent the people of Zion from getting too strong so that they would physically threaten to overthrow the control exerted on them by the Matrix. The Matrix restarts the society with better genetic stock from time to time to create better competition with the Matrix to help maximize or perfect commerce. The sixth restarted system of Zion could well refer to the servants under the international world governments represented by 1, the Egyptians, 2, the Syrians, 3, the Babylonians, 4, the Medusa and Persians, 5, the Greeks, and 6, the Romans, of which our current system of one world government is merely an extension of the Roman world government. For example, Roman civil law, Roman calendar, and Roman universal church. Yeah, there's nothing new under the sun. So the remedy lies outside of Zion or the Matrix. It's a fact. There were good entities existing as programs in the Matrix, and there were evil entities existing as programs in the Matrix. There was also good living souls amongst the people of Zion, and there were very bad living souls amongst the people of Zion. A condition of being good did not necessarily provide any remedy to mankind from the war which existed between the Matrix and the people of Zion. There was no remedy in fighting a continuous war. One's remedy is always in the peace that ensues after the war. Getting to this place and making a condition of peace productive by one's action is the issue. There are 4 types of living souls. 1, ostriches, with their heads in the sand, not knowing what is going on or why it's happening. This is the most numerous type of living soul in this world today. Number 2, people who wake up and discover that this world is not operating correctly the way it should to bring life to people and to bring it to them more abundantly. The people in this group, the people in group 2 are classic patriots, but they could just as well be people who have studied medicine, religion, politics, education, recorded history, or any other profession or discipline. Anyone who studies what is going on in this world by the professions or the societies knows that they have got it wrong and are creating death and not life. The people of Zion in the Matrix trilogy are firmly in this group too. They believe that the only solution to the perceived problem that the Matrix is screwed up and doing everything backwards for the benefit of living souls is war. for the benefit of living souls is war to the death of everyone in the matrix. Group two's classic remedy is to destroy their enemies. The ones who are doing this are thinking backwards. Group two believes that when they defeat everyone else who is wrong, then things will work well for the people in group two. When the whole world changes to my way, then things will be better and I can be happy. This is their motto. But is it realistic that the whole world will change or must change in order for one to become happy? The third type of people, um, the third type of people are those who realize that one's happiness and well-being is not derived from changing the whole world to one's way of thinking. Happiness is derived by changing your way of thinking so that it creates a better world for you to live in. This is realistic. You can change yourself. You cannot change anyone else who does not see the light and want to change themselves. There are a few characters in the Matrix movie series that could be classified as Group 3 thinkers. They believe in a remedy other than war. They include Neo, Morpheus, Trinity, the Oracle, Niobe, which is Jada Pinkett Smith, and the head of the Council for the People of Zion. Resolving a war in Matrix Revolution. It is not rational to structure your society on habitual warfare, but this is exactly what a democracy is. The ultimate cause-effect riddle or question that one can pose is, how do you bring a society that is at constant warfare to peace? The ultimate underlying cause is commercial debt. Commercial debt causes all war. To end war, one must either make arrangements to end the debt liability of the debtor side of the war by discharge, forgiveness, or as an operation of law, or else the creditor must be offered some concession which would end the war by offering something that is more desirable than the collection of the debt. In the story, The Matrix Revolution, the age-old war between the Matrix and the people of Zion is ended by one of these causes. The cause of war that plagued the people of Zion and the Matrix is not set forth in the story of any of the trilogy movies. The cause of war was studied in an extra set of stories set forth artistically in the DVD, The Animatrix. Yeah, there you go. Go look it up. The Animatrix tells 9 short stories dealing with the collateral issues involving the Matrix and the people of Zion. In the story, The Second Renaissance, Part 2, the events which led up to the war between the people and the machines are told. Oh, look at here. We got something outside of the canonical Bible telling you what happened during the missing parts so that you understand the entire book when you're reading it. Yeah, makes sense out of that. So the war started when machines wanted representation in government. The machines felt that they contributed to commerce and needed representation. Most of the people believed that the machines should not have political representation. People started to rebel against machines by destroying them. The machines defended themselves and attacked the people for self-protection. As the machines got the upper hand, they subdued the people and placed them into servitude. The cause of the war was the dishonor of the people in not accepting the machines' draft request to have representation in commercial government. The non-acceptance by the people made the commercial debtors to the machines, who became the commercial creditors. In commerce, a debtor cannot win. A creditor cannot lose. In today's world, the patriots are upset at the 14th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. This amendment changed the representation of the citizenry of the political and commercial government. Under the 14th Amendment, artificial things are now citizens of the government instead of real people. An artificial thing, a machine, if you will, could well be defined to be a machine or an entity that performs without civil or commercial life. The 14th Amendment person is a perfect definition of a machine. So when the patriots fight the 14th Amendment and its definition of an artificial entity as a citizen, the patriots are dishonoring the one world government's draft request for commercial representation for fictions. This makes the one world government, or the matrix, the creditor, and the patriot the commercial debtor by dishonor. This creates a commercial warfare, which is exactly what we have in today's society. This is why the people who act as persons are described as the commercial enemies in the Trading with the Enemy Act that was passed in the First World War as a protection from enemies and updated in 1933 under the New Deal when the United States government had to call upon the states to help defray the debt, and the persons or citizens of the United States. They became the enemies of the United States government by a decree of President Roosevelt. Look it up. If one followed the character of Neo in the Matrix trilogy, Neo evolves from Group 1 to Group 2 and finally to Group 3. Neo starts out as an ostrich with his head in the sand. In the first movie, he is awakened by Morpheus and becomes a patriot rebel in Group 2. In the second movie, Neo learns that it might not be possible to obtain a military victory over the Matrix. By the time Neo is seen in the third Matrix movie, he is convinced that he must change his perspective in order to provide a remedy to go to peace. So he is now in Group 3. Notice Neo's character in Matrix Reloaded. He does not get involved in fighting an offensive war against the Matrix. In fact, the only time Neo uses force at all is to defend himself against physical attack by Agent Smith or from characters in the Matrix which attack him. He protects his life and the lives of others without going on the offensive. The public critics of the Matrix trilogy complain that Neo's character shows little or no emotion. Why should his character? Neo is seeking knowledge and wisdom as to cause and effect of relationships. In the immortal words of the Moravian, Neo truly wants to understand the why. Neo wants to serve the people of Zion and Trinity, whom he loves. Neo is not seeking self-gratification by fulfilling emotional needs, nor does Neo act as a direct and proximate result of purely emotional pressure. In Matrix Reloaded, we learned that both Neo and Agent Smith have been decoupled from the control of the Matrix. Agent Smith is no longer a program executed within the mainframe of the Matrix. Both Agent Smith and Neo are gaining personal energy and ability now that they are not feeding energy to the Matrix. So there's a vast difference in the characters of these two entities. Neo has learned love and service above self. Neo does not work for consideration from the other party. Agent Smith is a Satan to Neo. A Satan is defined as an adversary or one who opposes you. Yeah, in real life. Look it up. Agent Smith is applying all this energy toward destroying Neo and all that is good. Since they are both decoupled from the Matrix, they both possess free will to lead their lives as they choose, unbridled by the constraints of the Matrix controllers and its social programming. So Neo seeks life. Agent Smith seeks death. In Matrix Revolution, the people of Zion are fighting a war against the superior force of the machines. In this war, the people of Zion can only hope to survive, but by all odds, they will lose. The Zion military command puts their faith in implements of war and their manpower to use them. No military strategy is based upon using outside plans or programs to stop the war. Only a few living souls within the people of Zion have any outside faith in the belief that Morpheus has, that the road to peace is somehow dependent upon Neo and what he might be able to accomplish in some way outside the scope of the military. Okay. It's getting dark out. I want to see what was what. Oh shit. Yeah, there's no way to pause this thing, so I guess when I come back, after I, get me some fruit, get me some water, I have to come back starting at I lost my place, right? All right, so I believe I was right here. Symbolism in the city of Zion. That's what I'll be starting at. So I have to make the part 3 Matrix part 1, and then part 2. Yeah. Go and absorb everything that I just read to you and understand that the news and the mainstream media, the politicians and all of them, they're the one bringing you lies. The Hollywood movies, all of them, whether they're cartoons or not, are parables that's bringing you the truth. You only got to be smart enough to be able to figure it out. And for those who can't figure it out, Yahsinni is going to bring it to you. I am the messenger. And this reading is a message. With that being said, with that being read, you see it's dark out. So I'm not fixing to go to bed. Yeah, Yahsinni is on the 3rd shift. Always have been. Peace. See you on the next part.